Hello guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be taking a
Time to
look
take off.
at VII. I mentioned in a previous video doing Paladins that I was going to do a series showcasing a extremely casual player's perspective on some of these heroes, and I think that it would make a lot of sense to talk about VII first, since he's the latest hero to be added to the roster. Now, I'm going to do videos dedicated to some of the other heroes first, but I've been walking around the testing area, and we're going to do some more walking around the testing area because I don't actually have time for a full match today, but we're going to walk around the testing area and talk about what I've noticed about VII as far as his kit. Now, before I do, I want to talk about a couple of things. First off, the loadout that I've picked is the Tribunal Upgrades with the Tribunal Upgrades cards, and that is the kit that I've picked for my item shop items. I've fully loaded Morale Boost, Chronos, Life Rip, and Deft Hands, which I feel like are kind of things that you would want for someone like VII, and his abilities are otherwise unaltered. Which I guess it's a stupid thing to say because you can't really alter abilities in this game past that, but let's start with his gun. Now, with Tribunal Upgrades, his gun has elemental affinities to each version of the weapon, but basically, from what I've seen, it basically goes like this. Automatic is a more consistent mode of firing, like that, basically that was automatic.
I'm not afraid.
Very consistent mode of firing that kind of just leaves bullet after bullet immediately, one after the other. Go to burst, a little bit different, a few shots in quick succession, and I believe automatic has a frost effect with it. Burst has a lightning effect, and mag dump has a fire effect, but let's go to burst real quick. Burst is, I think 3 or 4. Yeah, so 4 bullets in quick succession is what it sounds like. Maybe 3. Actually, I can test this pretty easily.
Do this!
3. It's 3. So 3 bullets in quick succession. And again, with Tribunal Upgrades, it comes with a with a lightning effect. And then finally, mag dump dumps all of the rest of the bullets in his arsenal.
Executed.
Now, obviously, automatic does the least amount of damage, and mag dump does the most. Loosely, that's a kind of a bad way to put it, but automatic is the most consistent and stable damage. Burst is a little bit more unstable, bursty damage, but the damage is a little bit higher if you land all the shots.
Tactical change.
And mag dump is the most bursty, and the most bursty of them all, with very high damage, but slightly slower rate of fire and less consistent. So there you go. Those are the weapon changes, and the alternate fire is actually the way that you swap between these damaging modes. So you have the 3 modes, you swap between them by using your alternate fire. That is called Trigger Discipline. Next is Grappling Hook. Now, this is really cool. I thought it would be like a Widow Hook if you played Overwatch. It is similar in a lot of ways, but it has some caveats of its own. We're going to talk about that for a second. So, you have 2 charges of this, number 1, it looks like. And, yeah, you have 2 charges of this. Number 1, the first way that this can be used is, and it seems to not work on this wall for some reason, but basically the way that you can do is you can hook onto a wall, and you stay on there and turn invisible for a little bit. So, really cool feature. Does it work on this surface? It does. And in the moment you start firing, you stay on the wall, but you become visible. So, and I don't know if that's only to the target that you're hitting with that or what, but you do become visible. to some extent there. I believe you become visible to everyone, though. Now, the next part of this grappling hook, what it actually does, if you use it against a player. So this is actually really cool. I'm going to have to go over to
New
our trio
equipment
over
is
here,
required.
because it actually depends what kind of character you use it on. So let's see what happens when we use it on Victor. Victor comes to us. Ying comes to us. Actually, it seemed like Ying might have come even closer to us. I'm going to pull back kind of far and just see. Yeah, so Ying actually went further than us. What about Victor?
Do that and be
So Victor, it looks like, just goes to us. Ying actually is light enough weight that she has to go over us. I don't know if that's a function or not. It seems kind of funny that happened. And then, what happens to Fernando when we use that? We come to him. So, it's this weird interaction where if you pick who you use it on, you
Time to
actually
take up.
either go to them or them come to you. So if you're going to a tank, then you're going to have to chase them down. But if you're going after someone like Victor or some of the lighter characters, then they will have to run from you. You'll have to pull them to you to get them to come. And so that's that ability. Now we're going to talk about his E ability. Now, I say E ability, I've changed all of the keybinds, so I guess it's bad for me to call it E ability. Also, that says F for some reason. I have it bound to shift, so I don't know why it says F
New
there.
equipment is
but-
required.
Oh, you know what? Because these don't actually, these show the default keybinds, and I changed the default keybinds. So, it is Q that the ability is by default. For me, it's E, as you can see down there. But explosive dodge. This is, from what they were describing, it's kind of his movement mechanic, but it's really odd. You can dodge in one of 4 different directions. If I hit this way, it'll dodge that way. If I hit it while moving this way, okay, we're gonna have to do this.
Time to take
If I
up.
dodge while moving this way, it'll move that way. If I dodge while moving this way, it'll sit that way. And if I do forwards, it'll do forwards, backwards, you saw a second ago. And basically, this is a dodge, but it also leaves behind explosives. And those explosives go off when detonated by enemies. They are a trap for your enemies. And to show that, we will use it over here with our good friend Pip. Wait for them to go across. We leave those behind. And they should detonate after Pip walks over them. Okay, so apparently they're not detonating, which is worrying. I'll do it this way and directly in line. I haven't actually tested this before, but actually not detonating with Pip. Okay, so they did detonate that time. I don't know why they didn't detonate the first time, to be honest.
New
Anyway, so it
equipment
seems like
is
they're kind of finicky,
required.
but they're supposed to detonate when you hit them. And so let's go back to our Victors over here to look at his ultimate. His ultimate's actually really cool. So here's how his ultimate works. You hit Q, or whatever your ultimate ability button is. By default, it's E. You hit your ultimate button, and you can target up to 5 enemies. You fear them, and you deal damage to them. That, of course, changes based on what loadout you have, but that is what it does by default. So, if we hit Q here,
Cerebral terror
we can lock all of them on, and here we go. They're all feared. Really loud. Sorry for that. They're really, really scared now, and they're running backwards. And yeah, it's like they're even like straight up
Time to
wandering
take
into
off.
the open area over there. But anyway, that's literally just how that works. Now they're glitched out, but I don't know why. What? Anyway, long story short, because that one's kind of, I think I might have broke Paladins a little bit. That one deals damage and then fears them. So here's the deal. Loadouts. The loadouts for this guy. For some reason, I can't change this now. Don't know why. You can start off with the
I'm not afraid.
Decree 77. Ultimate with overcharged is
do this.
ultimate with the overcharged trait is now overcharged. The ultimate will no longer deal damage, or let me rephrase. The ultimate will no longer fear enemies, but will deal a lot more damage in a radius around the enemy for 1 second. The ultimate charge rate is increased by 50%, so you can use the ultimate more often, and it only deals damage as opposed to the fear. I can see situations where this wouldn't be useful, but for the most part, I actually think that this would be a great alternative to the regular ultimate. But again, you only get to choose the loadout at the beginning of the game, so you're going to have to be careful about when you pick this. Spring-loaded. Explosive dodge drops an explosion where you land and take off from. So I don't know whether that means it drops explosive charges or if it just explodes directly. That sounds like it just explodes directly from the takeoff and landing point. And the cooldown is increased and the range is increased. So I, again, could see situations where that's really useful. It just depends. The one that I'm probably the biggest fan of, though, of the three is Tribunal Upgrades. I can see uses for both of the other ones, but they do seem a little bit more situational, whereas this one is just really good overall. And that is Heavy SMG has 3 elemental effects. Fire-imbued mag dump, dealing damage over time. Electrically charged burst mode, which is an AoE damage on stacks. And ice-infused automatic shots, which slow enemies down. Let me just be honest, the ice-infused automatic shots seem really nice. And then the Tribunal Upgrades, I'm not going to go through these because there are so many cards, but if you're new to Paladins and new to the characters in general, I usually just pick the ones with the same names because that's kind of, I feel like, what they're there for. So maybe that's a bad idea, but that's what I usually go with. You can pause to see what those do. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and swap loadout and show all of them. And you can check what each cards do and what the card sets are. And I'll actually, after this, I'll show how to pick card decks of your own. I've actually picked card decks for some characters that I've played a little bit more. But by default, I'm just going to go with the one that that matches the name of trait that I picked. But what are my thoughts here? Well, 7 seems really, really powerful. Only for damage, which isn't necessarily the end-all be-all of any character in this game. I may be just a casual player, but I do at least know that. Damage will only get you so far. If you can kill the enemies fast enough, that can be great, but there are characters in the game specifically designed to ignore that damage, so you really have to be able to play the character well to be able to get the most out of them, even if the character does deal a lot of damage. I feel like 7's going to be really powerful.
Equipment is required.
He's powerful, but I do have to feel like there's definitely potential for him to be outplayed. As far as casually, though, I personally think that he's just a really fun character. I don't know that he's precisely my style, but I definitely think that he has some major, like, opportunities for some good, fun plays, and that's a really good bonus for this. So,
Time to take up.
really quickly, and then I'm going to dang it, I keep hitting the wrong button. Really quickly, and then I am going to well, it'll let me. Okay, it's not letting me alt tab or leave, so we're going to just stop the video here. But next time I get on, I'll start from the main menu and I will show you guys how you can create these card decks, because it's actually really easy. Just be warned, it's actually kind of
New equipment is required.
Too complicated to do. It's just, there's a lot to know about it. So, anyways, that is the casual player's overview of 7. Hopefully next time we can go backwards and start looking at some of the characters released previously. But there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to comment and subscribe if you did enjoy, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye, guys.